Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm back with part 5 of What If Naruto Was a Bastard with a Red Byakugan. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs coming your way. I also post a new series over an anime symbol of what if Naruto got stronger from any pain, whether it be physical, emotional, anything, guys. So go over there on anime symbol and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And don't forget to go ahead. I'll be leaving all the links down in the description for the other channels. So I'll see you guys over there. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let's begin this now, guys. So the last part we left off, both Naruto and Mito threw themselves into battle, destined to help Sasuke no matter what. As the battle progressed on, as they clashed with the Sanin, the man proved to be too powerful. He proved to be stronger than they could ever imagine. They hit him with everything they got. However, he sealed off Mito from using the power of the Nine Tails and greatly injured Naruto. But despite the pain, despite the anguish that he was feeling, Naruto rose back to his feet, determination burning within his soul and his eyes. That is when it happened. His eyes started to bleed. Orochimaru believed that he saw a figment of his own imagination behind the boy, a being with red eyes. The next moment, Naruto released a chaotic blast of combustion that ripped apart everything. The Sanin was burned severely to the point that he had to slip from his own mouth as Naruto proceeded to collapse. Orochimaru's interest was peaked. It hasn't been in some time, but it was definitely peak right now. So he did something rather unusual. Instead of leaving them for dead, he hid them away. Hide them away to make sure that they would survive. Naruto was the first one to wake up, and he was in agony, overusing his Byakugan, not exactly knowing what he had done and what had happened, but he overused his eyes. When Mito came to, as Sasuke was still unconscious, fighting an internal battle, they found themselves going up against the Sound Ninja. Due to the state that they were in, the Sound Ninja seemed stronger than they were, as they were forced to stay on guard constantly, trying to get away from damage. But when it truly came down to it though, when Sasuke woke up, it was over. As the battle progressed even more, Sasuke, proving to be a beast amongst beasts, crushing the both of them where they stood, showing that the power of the mark was on a different level. Dosu was confused by that. Why would Orochimaru send them to fight if he was going to grant Sasuke with a mark? So they quickly found themselves retreating as fast as they possibly could. And once they got out of there, Sasuke was able to calm down due to Naruto and Mito speaking to him. With that said and done, they found themselves making their way. Arriving, finally getting some rest, Naruto was able to recover. Upon recovering, they faced off against others during the preliminaries. Naruto made his way against Dosu, believing that it would be similar to what happened in the forest. He was dead wrong. Naruto demolished him. Yes, he struck him down without hesitation, showing that he was much stronger than him. It was only because he was exhausted and weakened in the forest. With that said and done, they were given 1 month to train, 1 month to prepare, 1 month to be the best that they could be. Naruto was training on his own. So was Neji as well. However, Mito met Jiraiya of the Sanin, and after a bit of back and front, he decided to become her teacher. Yes, he decided to be the one to train her. So that is exactly what he did. Upon training her, Sasuke was training with Kakashi. When the month finally came to an end, everyone was there. Mito's match was the first as she went up against Hinata. Due to all the extra training, Hinata was able to show that she had gotten a lot stronger, shocking many by her performance. However, Mito was used to fighting someone with those eyes, and after a beaten back in front, showing that both girls had grown severely, Mito came out on top, finishing the match with an uppercut. As Naruto went after, he went up against Neji. Both boys were fighting with the Byakugan at a high velocity. People were shocked that Naruto could keep up, having no idea that he was that good. However, things changed when Naruto started to fight using his fighting style, something that he created, something that they couldn't quite explain as Naruto was making the chakra recall back to Neji, which was rather confusing. Neji soon realized that he could not win as the battle dragged on with Naruto coming out victorious. Sasuke came and made his way up against Garra, and after a brutal match, things changed as the invasion began. Before Naruto could intervene though, he found himself being called away by Satu. Satu, who has been watching Naruto the entire time. Satu, who has went into Naruto's room and taken a kunai. Satu, that has been planning something big. Naruto found himself helping the others, as there were more branch members helping out as well. However, he found himself heading towards a scene where he saw Hayashi and Hanabi. They were both surrounded. Yes, they were surrounded by several other sound ninjas. Hayashi took them down rather easily when Satu appeared, aiming to help Hayashi, but instead he plunged a kunai through his chest, shocking Naruto, the only one there to witness except for Hanabi. Naruto couldn't believe what he had seen as he watched Hayashi fell to the ground, dead. It was a truly shocking thing to witness. However, he realized something now as Satu looked up towards him with a look on his face as Naruto feared the worst. So yeah guys, basically let's play off. You guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. So see you in this new episode. It was destined. He was destined to rule the Hyuga clan. It was fate. There was no doubt about it. Things went perfectly. Satoru desired leadership. He desired to be the one on top. And from the moment Naruto went after Hayashi to claim his life, Satoru saw what he needed to do. He saw the perfect thing to do in that moment. How to truly be the leader without anyone to object him, without anyone to stand in the way to rule. He will be the leader of the clan. Due to the closeness between the two family branches, the both of them being the main, but his line was one step behind. So all he needed to do was to eradicate the first line completely. And with them gone, he will hail as supreme. When the invasion began, he saw the opportunity. He saw the sound ninjas purposely spreading the word, shouting in their favor that they've cornered the Hyuga head. It would be best to take out all the strong figures within the village in order to rule over them. He then stopped Naruto from pursuing after that girl and the Sanjin Juliki. Things lined up perfectly as Hayashi got surrounded. Satoru just had to wait until he arrived, making sure that no other would come this way. And then he saw it, the perfect moment. Hayashi trusted him to get behind him, believing that he was here to keep him safe, and thus he plunged a kunai into his chest. The tears came quickly from Hanabi, dropping to her father's side, screaming out towards him. She was a child that loved her father, and watching him be slaughtered in front of her eyes. The girl broke down. Naruto was stunned to what he saw, his foot moving on its own. The next moment though, a hand was raised. Unbelievable pain coursed through Naruto. He collapsed on the ground, courtesy of Satu. I knew it from the moment I saw what you could do, that you would be my salvation into getting leadership over this clan. Naruto struggled to look up as the man spoke. He gripped Hanabi by the hair. She was too broken in a state to fight back. She struggled, but not enough to harm him. I am not as proficient as you. I have to make sure that this is perfect though, he said. He used fire affinity that he possessed, despite the clan not really focusing on that when you had the all-seeing eye. He struck the girl in her chest without hesitation, making sure that she was burned. Naruto was in unbelievable pain and shock. He struggled to move, struggled to make any noise, but in screaming agony as he watched her body clatter to the ground. He struck her heart, burning her chest in the process. That pulse, that buildup of pulsating chakra, stunning her heart, stopping it. Naruto struggled to get back to his feet as Satu stepped towards him. No mercy, no remorse. There is nothing that you can do, he said, but serve your fate. Do not worry. I'm not going to kill you right here and now. After all, I need you to further push my agenda, to further push my leadership. You will be the sacrificial lamb in my step to become the leader of this clan, to rule over all beneath me, he said. Naruto tried to get up. Satu raised an eyebrow at that, until he raised his hand, releasing more. As Naruto clattered back, his words came out soft. You pay for this, he said in agony, biting back the scream. I'm impressed that you're still able to remain conscious. You are truly remarkable. However, it is something that I must snuff out in order to reach my stage, he said, raising his hand even more, but Naruto started to struggle. Once again, confusion crossed his face, not quite understanding. When Naruto finally looked up to face him, his eyes were glowing red. The rage and anger as he forcefully got up, despite the pain of the mark. Satoru was so shocked that he took a step back, instead of knocking Naruto out physically. This wasn't something that was supposed to happen. The pain alone was supposed to stun their system, stopping them from advancing any further. Releasing more of his chakra, Naruto collapsed down to the ground, gripping his skull and crying out in agony. Enough of this, Satoru said, walking over and knocking Naruto out. He still needs him. After all, no one would believe the bastard that is hated by the clan. And he's already made sure that all the evidence were right there for the taking. As Naruto was knocked unconscious, the invasion carried on. Both Mito and Sasuke went up against Garra. Mito, using the tutelage that was given to her by Jiraiya, summoned the giant toad. She took Garra down. However, in the end, she saw Garra pain. She saw his suffering. So instead of dragging him back to the prison or killing him, she spoke to him, tried to make him understand what it was like. because his situation seemed to be worse, but through that pain she met friends, and those friends gave her something to hold on to, something to believe in. Thus, he needed to do the same. As the siblings came to take him away, Garra was different, to the point that he apologized. Time skip. In just a short amount of time, a lot took place. Hiruzen Sarutobi fell. He died. Mito was not seeing Naruto anywhere, so she went by the clan compound, demanding answers, but they were not giving her any. She spoke to Kakashi, who still was unable to get a full reading on what was going on, other than Naruto was alive. Yes, he was there, but he was not being given permission to leave the clan grounds. Jiraiya had more sway though. It turns out that the head of the clan died during the invasion. So they believe that that was the reason why everything was the way it was right now. Why Naruto and the others were within the clan compound. Her herself not being a part of a clan, but she knew that Naruto did not like them that much due to the branch that he was from. However, there was not much that they could do. She was simply worried that he was hurt, but she was glad to hear that he was okay. The Hyuga clan was secretive and private. After all, no one knew that Naruto was Hayashi's son. Inside of the clan, the branch members were shocked to hear what had happened. It turns out that while Hayashi was defending his daughter from a bunch of sound ninja, Naruto grabbed Hanabi, using her as leverage. Hayashi put his life up instead. Yes, as the evidence all pointed to it, the weapon that was used was Naruto's. By the time that Satu arrived, he struck Hanabi in the chest. After witnessing what Naruto was able to do during the Chunin exams, it was clear that it was that same burning fiery technique that was used to kill Hanabi. All the evidence was there, and given the past attack, the boy was guilty. The only one that was left was Hinata Hyuga from the main line there. She would have to be the one to take the seat. Many was against this, but some had seen the potential in the girl and the growth that has happened over the years, and they believed that she would be best for said seat. But right now she was a wreck. She lost her father, she lost her sister, and it turns out the one that did it was her own brother. It was a wreck on her. Neji was shocked to what he had heard, refusing to believe that. He paused as he thought about. No, Naruto said that he made a mistake due to his emotions. He wouldn't do something like that. Neji knew a lot. He knew that Naruto never resented the girls, not one bit. So he doubted that Naruto would ever hurt Hanabi. Something was going on here. It was rather strange that he was the only one that was there, no other members from the branch family. Just him, and then Satoru came by. Neji had seen Satoru watching Naruto once, and then another time laid down. Something was going on, and he demanded to know, but it was hard for him to even find out what was going on. But something was going on though. But he did not believe that Naruto was the one that committed these atrocious acts. On the other hand though, the members were rather angry at this. They wanted Naruto's head. He's been confined to the prison within their compound, bind and suppress. And he would be publicly executed for his crimes. Killing a clan head, there was no going back from that. He would be publicly killed. Hinata Hyuga was within her room, the tear mark still on her face. She had been trying to get stronger, trying to toughen herself up. Thus, when this happened, she broke and the tears just came. She was still a bit injured from the exams, And everything was just so horrendously bad at the moment. And she didn't know what to do. She didn't know anything anymore. As she found herself in a rather horrible situation. They were already talking about her leading the clan. She wouldn't exactly be in control, but there would be those that would be by her side. Satu was the first one. Suppose that he would stand there to guide her, being a part of the main family as well. But Naruto wouldn't do that. He cared for her. He cared for Hanabi. Yes, he did not like their father, but he would never do that to Hanabi. She didn't think that he was behind this, despite everything that has taken place. She couldn't believe that he was the one that did this. He's been so encouraging, so nice. He would never do that. He would never put her through this pain after everything. She didn't know why or what was going on. She had no answers. Absolutely none at all. As she sat there in bed, unsure what to do. Meanwhile, it was the same place that he was placed. After he had been going insane from emotions when he had tried to end Hayashi. Naruto was strung up, both of his arms bound by chains. So were his legs. His eyes were covered by a very special seal that prevented him from using them. He was bound and restrained all this time. So that is why Satu has been watching him. Naruto knew that they were going to execute him. They would never ever give him the chance to ever make a case for himself. Because in their eyes, he's been guilty from day one for being born a bastard of the main and branch family. And thus, they would not hesitate to put him down. A part of him already accepted that he would die because he could not escape this place. And due to certain law factors, the village couldn't get involved. No one could save him. As the evidence was clear, Satu had planned it perfectly. He watched him, he studied his abilities. That was his kunai. It was a special kunai that Naruto had etched into the handle. A swirl. He remembered that day when he was in the rain, exhausted. The weapon almost broke completely. He sat there and released a breath. However, he knew that Hinata was going to die as well. The only way for him to consolidate power, the only way for him to truly become the leader was to kill Hinata. And she was going to die. And he was going to put her death on someone else, just like what he did to them. Despite what has happened, Naruto never truly cared that much for Hayashi after what happened between him and his mother. The fact that he stand by and allow all of that to happen to someone he claimed to love. Naruto truly did not care about the man. However, Hanabi, she was a child. She did not deserve to die. She did not deserve to suffer that fate. Naruto sat there, rage coursing through him. She deserved to grow up. She deserved to live her life, fall in love, be happy, get away from the barbaric ways of this goddamn clan. How could he kill her? Naruto released a heavy breath once again. Hinata has grown so much as he worried for her safety. His friend Mito, Sasuke, even him. They were friends. They were teammates. Neji, his best friend. It seems like the fight that they had would be the last. Naruto thought to himself in sadness, as his hands and legs were bound and there wasn't much that he could do. He simply lowered his gaze when he heard something. It sounded like footsteps. Yes, sounded like someone entering, but there wasn't any sound showing that the door had opened up. What the hell was going on, he questioned to himself. That was when suddenly he heard a voice. Strangely enough, it was hard to tell if it was male or female, despite them speaking to him. It seems the situation has gotten a lot worse. You have no way of freeing yourself. You lack the necessary resource to do so. If nothing is done soon, you will die. And I simply can't allow that to happen. I can grant you the power for a limited time to free yourself, to get away from here, to spare your life. Would you like that? Who are you? Said Naruto. How did you get in here? He heard the door open on several occasions. This person did not walk through the door. Do you really believe that? That is important right now. If you're not free, you know what is going to happen, but not just to you. So ask yourself, what is it that you desire in this moment? This person was right and Naruto knew it. Hinata was going to die. She was going to die if he did not do anything. He already knew that his sentence was already there. So he had to get away. To show the populace, to show them all that Satu was the one that did what he did, not him. He wanted to consolidate power. He wanted to be on top. And without anyone suspecting him, he would strike Hinata down without any witnesses, just like what he did to Hayashi and Hanabi. Fine, said Naruto. I don't know who the hell you are, but I'm desperate. How exactly are you gonna let me get out of here? Said Naruto. Naruto felt something on his shoulder. A hand, as the person whispered near to his ears. For a limited time, you have 5 minutes to get out of this village. I will grant you the power to do so. As far as you can see it, you can be there. Naruto understood what the person was trying to say. However, could that be possible, he wondered. The next moment though, he felt the hand leave his shoulder, and something phenomenal took place. He felt this surge. The seal that was placed over his eyes started to burn, showing 2 red light underneath. They immediately burned away as Naruto felt it and released it all. Within the compound, as members were being gathered to go through with their plans, the bodies of Hinata, younger sister Hanabi, and their father Hayashi has just been placed to rest. So the next step was to punish the one that did this. And with all the members there, it was only right to do it here and now. We find Neji a few minutes before what took place, racking his brain trying to understand, as Neji knew that Naruto did not do this. Neji was spiteful of the family. He hated Hinata, and that extended towards her younger sister as well. He hated the entire family due to what happened to his father. However, time and time again Naruto warned him that they were his family, and despite what has happened, he still saw them as such. Thus, Neji knew that Naruto cared for them deeply. Perhaps he would go after Hayashi, but never those two, especially not a child. Naruto was cold, he could be frosty sometimes, but he was not a psychopath that would hurt children. Neji had no doubt in his mind. Naruto was his best friend after all. And now, he was going to be executed. He had to do something. However, what he was going to do was going to cost him his life. Naruto was stronger than him. Someone that believed that he can outdo fate without hesitation. Someone that believed that he could shatter the chains that have bound him throughout his life. And yet, he was destined to die. Was there any hope for him, Neji wondered to himself, having no idea how things are going to turn. Not doing anything would keep him alive, but would keep him chained to the clan forever, keep him locked away and miserable. So, was it even worth it? As he weighed his options, he couldn't just stand by and allow Naruto to die. That was something that he refused to do. So yes, his thoughts were cut though as he felt it. But it wasn't just him. Every Hyuga within the vicinity and beyond, the villagers, the ninjas felt it. Having recently just survived a outside attack, everyone believed that they were being attacked once again. Meanwhile, within the prison center, the two guards that were situated outside, they were the first to feel it as they snapped their head towards the door. The next moment though, the door and the wall came breaking down as they found themselves unconscious in the rubble. Stepping out of the hole was Naruto, but he was no longer the same. A strange, red aura was flickering around his body. He was oozing with so much power. His eyes were glowing. The veins at the side of his head were pulsating red. The aura had strange markings over it, but it was flickering too much. A power that wasn't under his control. A power that he was simply borrowing. He did not know how this was possible, or who did this to him, or who gave him this, because the moment he was able to see, he saw no one within his cell. He knew one thing though, it was limited. 5 minutes, he thought. Naruto bent down slightly, with enough force as he kicked off. The location was underground. Just like before, Naruto palm struck the ceiling, creating a loud explosion as he blasted through. Arriving on the surface, he was surrounded instantly by the others. They were simply laying low, not expecting this in the slightest. As Naruto gazed over towards none other than Neji, who stand there, their eyes connected. Strangely enough, Neji's eyes flashed red, and after what seemed to be 2 seconds, Neji nodded. Naruto then took off in the opposite direction, moving at such speeds that the only thing that could be seen was the red blur. He raced across the grounds. Alert was being sent out. Panic was inciting within the clan. Seeing the building, Naruto vanish. He appeared on the inside. His hand slammed on the door, stopping all who tried to open it. Hinata was shocked. She stood there at the open window as she saw him, surprised, confused as well. The next moment though, she was in mid-air as Naruto was holding her over his shoulder. By her perception, she was simply in her bedroom once, and the next she was in mid-air. Several others were down there as they saw the red blur in mid-air, standing. Wait, he was not falling. Was he flying? Confusion grasped many of them. Satu came running out, along with several others. He gazed up with his Byakugan, confused by this power that was radiating from Naruto. The look that Naruto gave him, the look that he gave them all as he held Hinata. By their perception, Naruto was confirming that he was the enemy. But they were wrong. He gazed off into the far distance. The next moment he streaked across the sky like a red blur. It wasn't mere speed, it seems like he was teleporting, with a red light surrounding him, and he was gone. They tried to keep track on him, but their range did not extend to that distance as they found themselves gradually losing him the further he got, and then they could no longer see him. Neji Hyuga, down on the ground, had a smile on his face. Strangely enough, he was smiling, and that reason was rather surprising. As he started to make his way off, time skip. When news broke about what happened, all those who knew Naruto were shocked. There was a lot of emotion going around. so much. Having just returned from a month-long trip after facing off against Orochimaru once again, along with Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizune. The new Hokage was back to the village. With the new Hokage back, news could be revealed about one of their latest traitors. A traitor to the Hyuga clan, Naruto Hyuga. It came as a shock to everyone that knew him. However, there were those that were very angry about this, such as Kurona Yui, who saw Hinata as her daughter, someone that she took care of, someone that she protected. The two teammates that were there, Shino Aberami, and there was also Kiba Inuzaka, who had a crush on the girl. Knowing that she was taken, kidnapped, it angered him. The news broke that Naruto killed Hayashi Hyuga, condemning his name even further, making him be the villain, making him be the bad guy. As people started to spread all sorts of rumors, in order to tarnish his name, in order to tarnish his reputation, they had to crush him, crush everything about him. And the one that was driving this was Satu. Kakashi Hatake did not know what to say, as he did not believe that Naruto would ever do something like that. There must be a reason. Him kidnapping Hinata, there must be something. Sasuke was quiet openly, but on the inside, he was greatly confused. Mito refused to believe this, refused to accept this reality. She knew that Naruto would never do anything bad to Hinata or her sister. They were children like him, especially a younger girl. She was the one defending him without a doubt, knowing that something was wrong, something must have happened. This could not be real. She refused to accept this. As she returned to the village, Tsunade was forced to list him in the bingo book. As much as Mito protested about it, this was not her doing. The clan had the authorization to list an enemy missing name, especially one that has kidnapped the heiress of the clan, and they had no idea if she was dead or alive. And given what he did to the other two, there was a good chance that she was dead. Mito was furious about this outcome, given just returning back, believing that there was hope, believing that things were going to get better, and now to find this out, she was very angry about this. And there didn't seem like there was anything that she can do. She went to Jiraiya. She knew that he did not really stay within the village. He was always about the place. She pleaded with him to find Naruto, to find out what was going on, refusing to accept and believe what she had heard. But then there was another problem. After the recent encounter with his brother, and now finding out about Naruto, Sasuke started to take a turn for the worse. Being branded by that accursed mark, Sasuke started to go down a darker path. He wanted to fight Mito, confusing the young girl. He wanted to fight her. Not this time, when everything was so hectic, but he demanded. She was frustrated, so they did fight. A fight that started out soft, but they went brutal on one another, charging their most deadliest technique, trying to attack one another with it. As they found themselves separating, Mito was trying to plead with the others from their graduation class that Naruto couldn't have done this. It came to mind as she wanted to speak with someone from that group above theirs. Naruto spoke about him often. He was really close to him. However, she wasn't given access within the compound, so she had to wait. And wait. And wait. Unfortunately though, a team reported back in after Sasuke Uchiha and a couple of ninjas from the sound was spotted leaving the village. Now that was bad. A team was gathered. A team consisting of Neji Hyuga, Kiba Inuzaka, Shino, Shikamaru, and Choji, and Mito there as well, to bring him back home. Mito was finally able to see Neji, as she would like to talk to him, like to understand what the hell was going on. He must know something, but this was not the time. She had to stop Sasuke from leaving, had to stop Sasuke from getting away. She knew that something was wrong, the way he was acting, him wanting to fight her. But she was so preoccupied thinking about Naruto, worrying about Naruto that she did not put that much attention on him, and now he was gone. Thus, the team made their way, and a rather brutal battle ensued between each of the members. In the end, Mito faced off against Sasuke, as they clashed against one another rather brutally. However, as their final technique launched at one another, the look in her eyes, it almost broke Sasuke, as she was begging him to return home. She could not lose anyone else. However, it was too much, knowing that he hasn't gotten stronger. The mocking words from Itachi, her almost beating him. He was tired. He was upset. Using the essence of the curse mark, their battle ended with him standing over her. Having exerted the chakra of the nine-tailed fox, it knocked her out. Her body was still much more underdeveloped to handle such hatred. Sasuke looked down at her. As he gazed down towards her sleeping face, he felt bad. Naruto was gone, and now he was going away. She would have no one left on her team, as he did not even think about Kakashi. However, this was something that he has to do, because if he does not, he would never beat Itachi. So with that, he left. Time skip. There was a lot of depression. Returning back to the village, having lost, she did not leave the hospital room. Mito was someone that was able to heal pretty quickly. Not to say that she was over energetic, but she did not like to be confined to one place for too long, as she found herself just lying there. She had visitors though, hearing about what took place. They came to pay her a visit. They came to cheer her up, but nothing seemed to be helping. First she lost Naruto, and now she lost Sasuke. That was extremely hard on her, as she found herself getting more and more depressed as the time went by. Once she was able to fully get to her feet, he arrived. It was Jiraiya. He wanted her to come with him. They were going to go on the road. He was going to help her get stronger, to ensure that when the next time approached, she would be able to bring her friends back. He ignited the fire inside of her that has been diminishing over the past couple of days, but it still hadn't been fully restored just yet. She found herself going towards the room of Neji Hyuga. As she entered inside, Neji was awake, seated on the bed, still covered in bandages. She slowly advanced. He knew that she was there. His gaze was focused towards a window. He seemed different. Maybe it was a life and death situation, knowing that he could have died at any moment. Maybe it was what happened before Naruto went away. However, he did seem different. As he stood there, she approached and stopped. "We never had the opportunity to speak," she said to him, as he finally turned to face her. "You knew him more than anyone else, even more than myself. You knew him for longer. I know that you cared about him and he did for you, because there is not much within his clan that he cared for, but you were one of them. Please, tell me that they're all wrong. Tell me that my faith in him is not wrong," she said, pleading with Neji, because as the time went by, the more sad she got, the more depressed she got. Neji then remembered quite well. Flashback. As both him and Naruto locked eyes, Neji found himself within a world that was not their own. Confusion crossed his face, not quite understanding. He gazed up at the heavens as he saw a crimson moon. He was standing on red water. The sky was white, and the bright crimson moon was so pronounced. "Where are we?" said Neji, as Naruto was standing there in his normal form. "There's a lot going on. But I did not kill them," Naruto said. "I know that," said Neji. "Without a doubt." "Who did?" he asked. "It was Satu. This was all his plan. That is why he was watching me, observing me. That is why he never told them how advanced I was with using my eyes. It was all his plan from the beginning. To frame you," said Neji. "He struck them down. Yes. And he used this cursed mark to restrain me when I tried to stop him." Naruto said, gripping his head. "And now, I have to leave. If I don't take Hinata with me, they're going to kill her." "Fine," said Neji. "I'm coming with you as well." "No," said Naruto. "What?" "I need you here," said Naruto. "I need you to stay here because I need an inside ears of what is going on within the clan. He cannot consolidate power that quickly. It's gonna take him a while before he becomes the clan head. It will take perhaps a year or two for them to be done with my actions, believing that Hinata is already dead. I need you to stay here for the time being," said Naruto. "I need as much information as possible. Something is happening, something I can't explain, but I believe it will be the catalyst to help me, to not just free myself, but to finally free the clan once and for all." "How do you know this?" said Neji. "What exactly is it?" "This," said Naruto as he looked at himself. "This power. There is something, someone that can help me. I'm not sure yet what it is. But if I don't take Hinata with me, she's going to die. And I need you here as my eyes and ears," said Naruto. "I'll be in contact, but I need you to stay here," he said to Neji, as much as he would like to help his friend. Naruto wanted him for something else. "Fine," he said. "I'll do as best as I can." Naruto smiled here and that. "And another thing, you can't tell Mito what I told you. Knowing her, she's gonna march here and demand answers from you. So you can't tell her that Satu was the one to kill them. Simply tell her that you believe I had nothing to do with this. But tell her nothing of our conversation. Why? I thought she was a good friend of yours. More than anyone else you would like her to know." Neji said, curious. "That's a problem. She's so much of a good friend that she would not hesitate to inform the others. And she has no proof. She might even attack him with rage when she finds out. And I can't allow that to happen. So for now, just keep it quiet. But make her believe that you believe I did nothing to warrant this kind of treatment." Neji stepped forward. "I will do my best," he said. Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. "Thank you, my friend," he said, with a smile on his face. That conversation lasted for 2 seconds in the real world. Neji smiled once the conversation ended as Naruto took off, as Neji watched him leave. End of flashback. Hearing the words out of his mouth, knowing that someone else truly believed in Naruto without a doubt, it returned. Jiraiya was right, she needed to get stronger. She was going to find them both and bring them back and reunite Team 7 no matter what. There was no doubt about that, she thought to herself. Not a doubt at all. Time skip. We finally see Mito leaving the village, as she made herself a promise right at the gate. She would find and return her teammates no matter what. Meanwhile, we find Sasuke Uchiha within the den of Orochimaru, training to grow his strength, training to grow his power. Meanwhile, Orochimaru would be seen sitting, observing the young Uchiha by cameras. The news had recently reached them about what happened within the Hyuga clan. Naruto Hyuga, the one who condemned Hayashi to a fate of death. It seems the boy was more outstanding than he originally thought. It was rather tricky to give this the full attention, but if the boy was that indeed powerful to kill someone like Hayashi, well, he was something else. The Sanin interest had peaked even more, having raised to unbelievable heights when he witnessed that event within the forest. And now, he wondered though, now that the child was a missing ninja, where exactly was he? And what was he doing? Time skip. Unknown location. We find Naruto Hyuga gazing out at a massive, colossal temple. Where he was, well, there was a lot to explain. Flashback. After dashing from location to location, the person was right. As far as Naruto could see, he would be able to go there. He was able to teleport to his vision distance, and Naruto teleported all over. He passed through the land of fire in 1 minute and 30 seconds. He passed the border within 3 minutes, crossing over towards several unknown villages that paved the way to the land of lightning. Due to his vast range that he could use on his Byakugan, Naruto simply teleported to the furthest distance away. But it wasn't just that. There was this pulling. There was this... something was there that he was going to. Hinata remained quiet in his arms as he moved. He finally arrived, standing on top of a mountain, within the land of lightning, away from the village area. Hinata was shocked that they crossed the globe, that they were able to reach here within under 5 minutes, when suddenly Naruto collapsed, the red glow leaving him. As it seemed to have taken a lot out of him, it wasn't his power after all. His eyes returned back to their docile state, returning back to their normal state as well. He looked up towards Hinata. "I didn't do it," he said. "It was Satu. He killed them." I tried," said Naruto, clenching his fists. "I tried to save our sister, but he struck her down, mimicking to an extent what I did, to how I fight. He's been watching me for a long time now. I never knew that he would go to this extent. To harm Hanabi, to harm you, to harm even that man," said Naruto, speaking about Hayashi. "You must believe me," he said. "I told you that I would never bring you any pain, that I would never cause you any pain and suffering, that it doesn't matter what has happened. You're still my sister." "And the same went for Hanabi," said Naruto. "I would never hurt her." "I know," Hinata said. Naruto looked up at her surprised. There was no hesitation. "There's a reason why I did not fight you coming here. I knew that you didn't want to hurt me. I could feel it," she said, stepping towards him. "I've just been so confused for the last couple of weeks, and I had no idea what truly happened," she said, moving towards him, given that he was on his knees as she wrapped her arms around him. She started to cry. She knew that he was the one behind it. Finally, able to truly express herself, as the others believed that crying was a weakness even in this situation. Naruto hugged her. "It's alright," he said. "It's alright to let it out." And she did, as she held on to him for strength and support. Naruto held his sister, knowing how much he was grieving over their death. While he did not care much for Hayashi, even the fact that he even tried to kill him once due to his rage, Hanabi was a different story. She never deserved this. She was a child. Hinata sobered up in Naruto's arms, wanting to know why. Why would he do that? However, as Naruto started to explain it, it made sense. leadership, and power. It was the only way. He did so, in order to make sure that he would be the one to rule. And the only thing left in his way, the only person left in his way, was Hinata. Naruto had no doubt in his mind that Satu would have killed her without hesitation. He had no doubt at all. And now here they stood, away from their home. What were they going to do? Naruto himself, he wasn't quite sure. However, there was something here. There was a reason why he was here. As their hands were confined together, him holding her, there was a light. Her chakra and his combining together. Something strange started to happen. As the light started to shimmer around them, bringing someone in front of them, bask in a red light, with blue and whitish features, was a woman. Long flowing white hair. Her eyes were the exact same as Naruto's. "It's you," said Naruto. Even before she spoke, he knew who it was. He knew. Which caused her to smile as she saw Hinata as well. "This is good," she said. "I knew that you would save her." She looked towards the both of them. "I'm sure that you're both confused right now," she said, looking at them. "There's a reason why I'm here, isn't it?" said Naruto. "Yes, there is. And I will explain it all very soon. However, before that, there's a lot that you don't know. There's a reason why you were gifted with these eyes. There's a reason why you were chosen. I saw it from day one," she said. You saw it?" Hinata said, confused. "Pardon me," she said. "My name is Asami Hyuga. And I was the first wielder of these eyes," she said, looking at Naruto. "And I saw your future. There's a reason why you were chosen to be gifted with these eyes. Because you're the only one that can truly stop the darkness. With those that stand by your side." "The darkness?" Naruto said, confused. "My father is a man that you probably don't know. The history has been passed down through generation, but there has been a lot of complications, a lot of mistelling of who my father is. His name is Hamura or Sasuke." Naruto remember seeing something like that before. It is still within your history books, within the clan, I believe, about the one that truly created this clan. However, his story is mistold by many. My father was a brother of the man that people claim to be the god of this world, the sage of six paths. No, he has heard that before. Naruto was surprised. The Hyuga had a rather vast history on things. He was surprised to hear that. There has been many over the years that has concealed information to make sure that this information does not get out. But I'm here to tell you the truth, she said. My father was one of the strongest men I know, but even he would pale, coming to face what is coming, she said to him, which caused Hinata and Naruto to be worried by that statement. A long time ago, my father and his brother fought an evil that was so wicked, the world was almost ripped apart. They were able to stop this evil. To ensure that this evil will never rise again, my father went to the location that it was sealed away. She gazed up towards the sky. Wait, the sun? Naruto said. No. The moon, Hinata said. She nodded. The evil was sealed away within the moon to make sure that no way it would ever come back, and my father would serve as its guard, its warden, to lock it away forever. Before that though, there were followers that followed my father up there. It was there that I was conceived. There that I came into this world. And I was different. I was special. Having eyes that the others didn't possess. Even the ones on Earth, where my father created the clan, the Hyuga clan. Those that possessed the standard Byakugan had never seen the eyes I possess. My father doesn't travel often to visit the Earth, but he does so once in a while to pay respect to his brother. And I was able to see the clan that was cultivating on the Earth. At first, everything was great. The tradition, the lineage was growing stronger and stronger. However, as time progressed, I noticed that my eyes made me stronger than most. Even my father was shocked by this turn of events. He had no idea exactly what they were. He called them the Akaigen, the Crimson Eye. Despite the power my father possessed, not even he was immune to death. He aged, he grew old. He eventually passed away, entrusting me with his dream. A dream that has been misinterpreted and changed over the years by not just those that reside here, but those that resides up there as well. I watch as a civilization changed. I intervened to make sure that the clan maintained its same dignity as it had over the years. But I did well by my father's teaching. I stopped myself from interfering too much. He believed that in order to grow, any civilization must learn, adapt, and grow upon themselves first. So I watched. Over time I grew stronger, having the power to stop all the conflicts. But I watched, and now more than ever I regret my actions. I could have done something. I could have changed so much. But just like my father said, I watched. And over time even I wasn't immune to death. My power had grown to such heights that I felt like I could have done the impossible. But I restrained that power, keeping it stored away until I was able to see it. Within my old age, I was able to glance into the future. At first, I believe I was going crazy. There were still so many unknown to the eyes that we possess. But then I truly saw it. And I saw the person with the same eyes I possess. I saw the darkness. But my visions started to be diluted. They started to be corrupted, allowing me to believe that there was change happening. Change that even my eyes could see. Naruto was shocked. Was their eyes really that powerful? I waited after my death as I watched two brothers believing that they should lead the clan on the planet. However, they fought for it. And in order to maintain power and stop the other from obtaining that power to fight him, the winner restricted his brother by using that awful seal. Thus it was created. And now, it is a generation that has passed down. On the third birthday of the last born, they shall be branded with a seal. I'm sure that you're both quite aware of this, she said. I thought that it was punishment due to my actions of not intervening, that I was stuck here. When I realized that I had a purpose, there was a reason why I hadn't passed on just yet. There was a reason why I could not speak to anyone before. Until you were brought into this world. And now, Naruto Hyuga, I believe that you are the one that can actually save it from the destruction that I've seen, because they're coming. Who's coming? Said Naruto as she proceeded to open her mouth. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person do, Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.